Yeah.
And so going back to 1995, and what we see at the bar charts along the bottom is the total income of all the ME sector, or all the ME data that I can find. And what we see is there's a huge difference in terms of the long-term trend. And whilst the bar charts along the bottom show ME income year on year and how it's developed, the line on the top is from the Motor Neuron Disease Association. Let's look at the overall picture. Let's compare the ME sector to the motor neuron disease sector. And you can see we are just in a different world. And back in 1995, when my grandmother was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, the MNDA, Motor Neuron Disease Association, was fundraising around 4 times what the ME sector was fundraising. Now they are fundraising around 10 times what the ME sector is fundraising. So even if you're stripping out issues around inflation and all the rest of it, their multiples are growing, and that's in part because they've invested in good communication, good fundraising, and all the rest of it. And when I've talked to people about this in the past, everyone's always said, but the Ice Bucket Challenge, that's what drove the change. And this big blip that we see here in 2014, that was the Ice Bucket Challenge. That's what drove that colossal increase in a single year's income. But it didn't start there. It was improving all the time, continuously, since 1995, and it's been outperforming ME on a yearly basis since 1995. This is a very long-term trend. And even now that the Ice Bucket Challenge seems like history, they're still growing. And I'm sure that we talk about it now, and perhaps people go, oh yeah, vaguely remember that. But they are still doing other activities, and people will be aware of the work they do with some rugby players and some of the big high-profile fundraising activities they've done there. And they've been colossally successful. And the result of that is they've been able to fundraise and then spend millions of pounds on motor neuron disease research, and that's been hugely impactful. The message here, I think, is that there can be change, but it requires focus, and it requires, a good strategy to drive that change. And we probably need to leverage high quality, advanced professional skills in order to drive it.
Yeah. And I think it's also worth, again, to reiterate this, when you're comparing these two diseases, it's not simply as a result of the fact that MND have a lot more people affected. It's in fact the complete opposite the case. I think it's something like 10 orders of magnitude. It's 10 times less people have MND, yet the fundraising is 10 times the amount. So there's
40 times
huge
less. Yeah.
40 times less. Okay.
So ME in 2020 or up to 2020. So we're excluding non-COVID. This is longer term ME.
Okay. Very stark.
And it's very stark.